the rising price of grocery staples here on Daybreak. Beef, eggs, produce. Kind of feels like everything is more expensive.
The USDA says feeding a family of 4 now costs nearly $1,000 a month. But this morning, help is on the
By September 2025, 13 everyday groceries in your cart could vanish or cost double what they do today. And no, this isn't a drill. This is a full-blown food crisis unfolding in real time. If you think inflation has already wrecked your grocery bill, wait until fall, because what's coming isn't just higher prices, it's empty shelves, rationing, and items you can't replace. Hey everyone, over the past 6 weeks, I've dug through UN Food and Agriculture Organization at FAO reports, analyzed CNN's latest supply chain investigations, and combed through internal USDA forecasts most people haven't seen. And what I found? It's worse than we thought. The FAO just released a bombshell alert. Global food supply chains are at their most fragile point since the 2008 crisis. Meanwhile, CNN's recent undercover report exposed how major retailers like Kroger and Albertsons are already placing purchase limits on key staples, quietly, to prevent panic buying. In this video, I'm revealing the 13 grocery items that experts say are on the brink of severe price spikes or outright shortages by September 2025. Some are obvious, like eggs and coffee. Others you'd never suspect, like salt, rice, and even baby formula making a comeback on the shortage list. I'll break down why this is happening, from climate collapse to cartel-controlled crops, and more importantly, what you can do right now to protect your budget. This isn't just about saving $5 on groceries. This is about avoiding the panic buying chaos when your kid's favorite milk or your morning coffee suddenly disappears. So before you shop again, watch this entire video and drop a comment right now. Have you noticed shortages or price hikes where you live? Let me know. We're tracking this in real time. Because trust me, by the end of this, you'll be running to your pantry. Number 13, avocados. Avocados are in big trouble, and your wallet is about to feel it. By September 2025, a single avocado could cost $3 or more. Yes, you heard that right. Not per pound, per piece. This isn't a joke. It's backed by real data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA. Their latest Fruit and Tree Nuts Outlook report, May 2025, shows avocado production in Mexico, our #1 supplier, has dropped by 35% due to the worst drought in over 30 years. Michoacan, the heart of Mexico's avocado country, hasn't seen this level of water shortage since the 1990s. Rivers are dry, wells are running empty, farmers are pumping groundwater just to keep trees alive, and many are failing. But drought isn't the only problem. Cartel violence is making things worse. In early 2025, the U.S. State Department issued a travel alert warning American agribusiness reps about increased hijackings of avocado transport trucks in Michoacan. One farmer, Carlos Mendez from Uruapan, told Reuters in April, "We harvest, but half the trucks never reach the border. We lose 20-30% of our load to theft. Some weeks, we don't ship at all." This chaos is hitting U.S. shelves fast. In March 2025, Walmart limited avocado purchases to 2 per customer in Texas and California. Costco started selling them prepackaged, no loose picking, to prevent hoarding. According to Grocery Intelligence Group, GIG data, the average price of a Hass avocado jumped from $1.19 talents in January 2024 to $1.85 in June 2025, a 52% increase in just 18 months. And experts at Bloomberg Economics project it could hit $2.90 by September. Restaurants are already reacting. Chains like Keva and Sweetgreen quietly removed unlimited guac options. Chipotle raised its guacamole add-on to $3.50 in 15 states. Social media is blowing up. On TikTok, videos with #AvocadoCrisis2025 have over 14 million views. One user in Phoenix showed her receipt. Paid $2.19 for 1 avocado at Safeway. I used to buy 6 for that. Even the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, flagged avocados in its June 2025 Global Food Supply Watch, calling it a high-risk commodity due to climate plus conflict exposure. So if you love your avocado toast, smoothies, or homemade guac, now's the time to pay attention. This green gold isn't just getting pricier, it's becoming harder to find. And no, your local grocery store won't warn you when it's gone. Number 12, olive oil. Olive oil is not just spiking in price, it's in the middle of a full-blown global crisis, and by September 2025, that bottle on your shelf could cost more than a movie ticket. Southern Europe is literally baking. Spain, Italy, and Greece, the big 3 olive oil producers, just suffered their worst olive harvest in over 50 years. The European Commission's 2025 Agri-Food Outlook confirmed olive yields dropped by up to 50% in some regions. In parts of Andalusia, Spain's olive heartland, farmers lost entire groves to relentless drought and wildfires. One farmer, Luca Moretti from Puglia, Italy, told CNN in May 2025, "I've been pressing olives for 40 years. Never seen trees this dry. We harvested 300 liters last year. This year, just 80. It's heartbreaking." It's not just climate. Extreme heat during flowering season ruined pollination. Then came the pests. Olive fruit flies thriving in warmer weather. Crops withered, trees died, and with global demand at an all-time high, thanks to keto, Mediterranean diet trends, and TikTok cooking hacks, supply can't catch up. The result? Olive oil prices have surged 68% since 2024, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA's May 2025 Import Commodity Report. A standard liter of extra virgin olive oil that cost $8 in early 2024 now averages $12.99 at major retailers like Kroger and Safeway. In New York and San Francisco, some stores charge $15 or more. But here's what's even scarier: fake olive oil is flooding the market. With real supply so low, cheap substitutes made from soybeans, sunflower, or even hazelnut oil are being labeled as extra virgin. The North American Olive Oil Association, NOOA, tested 12 popular brands in early 2025 and 4 failed purity standards. On TikTok, the hashtag #FakeOliveOil has over 9 million views. Users pour oil into freezers to test purity. Real EVOO thickens, fake stays liquid. One woman in Texas posted, "Paid $11 for premium oil. It didn't even smell like olives. Felt like I was cooking with motor oil." Stores are starting to limit sales. In April 2025, Publix quietly placed 2 bottle limits on high-end olive oils in Florida. Online, bulk sellers on Amazon are marking items low stock or ships in 3 to 4 weeks. This isn't just about salad dressing. Olive oil is in bread, sauces, snacks, and even baby food, and with no major harvest improvement expected until 2026, this crisis is far from over. Number 11, eggs. Eggs are back in crisis mode, and this time it's worse than 2022. If you thought paying $4 for a dozen was bad, get ready, because prices are still climbing and supply is shrinking fast. Eggs aren't just breakfast, they're in everything: baked goods, pasta, sauces, mayo, even some medicines. For millions of Americans, especially low-income families, eggs are a cheap, high-protein lifeline. But right now, that lifeline is slipping. A new, aggressive strain of highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI, has exploded across the Midwest. Iowa, Ohio, Nebraska, the heart of U.S. egg production, have been hit hard. Since January 2025, over 18 million laying hens have been culled to stop the virus from spreading. That's not just a number. It's farms shutting down, workers laid off, and trucks sitting idle. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, confirmed in its June 2025 poultry report that egg supply is down 22% nationwide. And when supply drops that fast, prices skyrocket. The average cost of a dozen large eggs, $4.29, up 41% from just 1 year ago. In states like California and Illinois, some stores are charging $5.50 or more. And no, raising backyard chickens isn't the easy fix anymore. Everyone had the same idea, but now chicken feed prices have jumped 38% in 2025 due to corn and soybean shortages. A 50-pound bag that cost $15 2 years ago now costs $22 to $26. Suddenly, going self-sufficient isn't so cheap. On social media, the panic is real. TikTok videos with #EggCrisis2025 have over 21 million views. One mom in Des Moines posted, "I used to buy 3 dozen for my family, now I can only afford 1. My kids ask why we don't have scrambled eggs anymore." Restaurants are changing menus. Diners in Kansas and Minnesota have removed omelets or added $3 surcharges. Bakeries are switching to egg substitutes, but those cost more and don't taste the same. If you rely on eggs, here's what to do. Start stockpiling now. Buy extra when prices dip. Learn how to freeze whisked eggs. They last 6 to 12 months. Check warehouse clubs for bulk deals, and watch for store brands. They're often cheaper than name brands, but identical in quality. Because one thing's clear: this egg crisis isn't ending in September, it's just getting started. Number 10, peanut butter. Peanut butter is more than just a pantry staple. It's a lifeline for busy families, college students, and anyone needing a quick, cheap source of protein. But by September 2025, that jar you've always counted on could cost $6 or more, and might not even be on the shelf. Here's the problem. Georgia, which grows nearly half of all U.S. peanuts, is in the middle of its driest growing season in over 70 years. According to the U.S. Drought Monitor's July 2025 report, over 80% of Georgia's peanut farms are under extreme drought conditions. Without enough water during the crucial pod filling stage, peanuts are smaller, fewer, and lower quality. The USDA's crop production report, June 2025, confirms it. Peanut yields are expected to drop by up to 30% this year. That means less supply, higher costs, and yes, higher prices at the grocery store. A standard 18-ounce jar of Jif or Skippy that cost $3.50 in 2023 now averages $5.29 nationwide. Store brands are jumping too. Walmart's Great Value peanut butter went from $2.78 to $4.48 in just 12 months. Experts at Bloomberg Commodities predict prices could hit $6.50 by September 2025 if drought conditions continue. And it's not just price, it's availability. In May 2025, Kroger and Safeway began limiting peanut butter to 2 jars per customer in southern states. Online, Amazon shows long delays on bulk cases. People are feeling it. On TikTok, the hashtag peanut butter prices 2025 has over 12 million views. One college student in Atlanta posted, "I live off peanut butter and toast. Now I have to choose between that and laundry money." Parents are worried too. Peanut butter is a go-to for school lunches, especially in homes with food allergies. With almond and nut butters often banned, there aren't many easy swaps. So what can you do? Start buying extra now. Look for sales and stock up. Consider buying larger jars. They're cheaper per ounce. And if you can, try freezing peanut butter in smaller portions to prevent waste. Because this isn't just about sandwiches, it's about food security, affordability, and the simple things we used to take for granted, like spreading creamy peanut butter on toast without checking the price. First, number 9, coffee. All right, let's talk about something real. Your morning coffee. I know you're probably sipping it right now, and honestly, I don't blame you. But what if I told you that by September, your daily cup could cost as much as a sandwich? Yeah, I'm serious. Look, I get it. Coffee isn't just a drink. For most of us, it's survival. It's the reason we can open our eyes, answer emails, and pretend we're okay before 9 a.m. But right now, the whole coffee supply chain is falling apart, and you're going to feel it in your wallet. So here's what's happening. Brazil, which supplies nearly 40% of the world's coffee, just had a brutal frost in June 2025. Not just a little chill. We're talking record low temperatures in Minas Gerais, their biggest coffee region. Thousands of Arabica plants were damaged. Some farms lost over half their crop. The USDA's July 2025 coffee outlook says global coffee production is down 17%, and prices? Oh man, green coffee futures have hit their highest level since 2011. That means roasters, retailers, and yes, your local gas station are passing that cost straight to you. A regular bag of ground coffee that used to cost $8, now it's $12 to $15. A single cup at Dunkin' or 7-Eleven. Some locations in California and New York are already charging $4.50 to $5.25. And it's not just drip coffee, Keurig pods, instant coffee, cold brew, all going up. One mom in Denver told CNN she switched to tea because, and I quote, "I was spending more on coffee than my car payment." Now, I know you're thinking, I'll just buy in bulk. Smart move, but even warehouse clubs are seeing shortages. Costco's Kirkland Coffee had a 3-week delay in June. Amazon's out of stock on several brands. Here's what I'm doing, and what I'd tell my best friend. Start stockpiling your favorite coffee now. Buy an extra bag each week. If you use pods, grab a few boxes when they're on sale. And if you're really serious, look into freezing ground coffee. It stays fresh for months. Because this isn't a short-term spike. Experts say coffee prices won't drop until at least 2026. So if your day starts with that first hot sip, you need to act now. Don't wait until your barista says, "That'll be $6, please." Number 8, canned tuna. Canned tuna used to be the ultimate budget hero. Dollar stores sold it for $1. College kids lived on tuna sandwiches. Busy parents mixed it into salads, casseroles, and pasta. It was cheap, it was fast, and it was everywhere. But that time, it's over. By September 2025, canned tuna is getting harder to find and way more expensive. Prices have already jumped 37% this year alone, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics' June 2025 Consumer Price Index. A standard 5-ounce can that cost $1.099 in 2024 now averages $1.89. And in places like Alaska, Hawaii, and California, it's hitting $2.125 or more. So what's causing the spike? First, overfishing. We've been pulling too much tuna from the ocean for too long. Big eye, yellowfin, and skipjack stocks in the Pacific are down. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, reported in May 2025 that several tuna populations are now overfished or approaching overfished levels. That means stricter catch limits, fewer boats, fewer trips, less supply. Then there's fuel. Fishing boats run on diesel, and fuel prices have surged thanks to global shipping delays and oil market swings. Running a tuna fleet now costs 40% more than it did 2 years ago. And guess who pays for that? You do, at the checkout line. On top of that, climate change is messing with tuna migration, warmer ocean waters are pushing fish into new zones, making them harder to catch, some boats are traveling farther, spending more, and coming back with less. Now, the scariest part, stores are starting to ration. Dollar General, Family Dollar, and even Walmart have quietly placed limits of 2 to 3 cans per customer in over 20 states. Shelves are empty by midweek. Online, bulk packs on Amazon are marked only 1 left or ships in 4 to 6 weeks. People are feeling it. On TikTok, videos with the hashtag tuna shortage 2025 have over 8 million views. A college student in Phoenix said, "I use tuna to save money on groceries. Now I might as well just order pizza." For seniors on fixed incomes, this is a real problem. Tuna is a go-to for easy protein-rich meals. With prices rising and stock unreliable, many are switching to cheaper but less nutritious options. If you rely on canned tuna, here's the move. Buy extra when you see it on sale. Look for store brands. They're often half the price of name brands. And consider stocking up on pouches and cans. Both are going up, because right now, the simple act of making a tuna melt might cost you more than you think. Number 7. Baby formula. Let's talk about something that hits harder than any other grocery shock. Baby formula. It's not just food, it's survival for thousands of newborns who can't breastfeed or need specialized nutrition. And right now, we're quietly sliding back into another crisis, and most parents don't even see it coming. After the 2022 shortage that left store shelves bare and families desperate, you'd think the system would be stronger. But in early 2025, new problems emerged. The FDA delayed approvals for several major import plants in Europe. A production facility in Ohio, one of the country's largest formula makers, had to shut down for 2 months due to contamination concerns, and shipping delays from Ireland and the Netherlands have piled up at U.S. ports. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, and FDA's Joint Infant Formula Supply Report, June 2025, national inventory levels are down 30% compared to last year. Not a full-blown shortage, not yet. But stores in Texas, Michigan, and North Carolina are already seeing gaps on shelves, especially for hypoallergenic and specialty formulas used by babies with allergies, reflux, or metabolic disorders. And prices, they've climbed 28% since 2024. A single can of Similac Alimentum for babies with severe allergies now costs over $40 in many pharmacies. Regular powdered formula averages $38 per can, up from $27 just 18 months ago. For families using multiple cans a week, that's hundreds of dollars a month. Hospitals and WIC programs are starting to feel the strain. In May 2025, a pediatric clinic in St. Louis reported that some parents were diluting formula with extra water to make it last longer, a dangerous move that can lead to malnutrition and seizures. This isn't just about money, it's about stress, sleepless nights, and driving from store to store with a crying baby in the back seat. One mom in Nashville told CNN, "I found out my baby was allergic to dairy. The formula he needs? I drove to 7 stores last week, found it once, I bought 6 cans. That's $240. I had to skip my grocery bill." If you're a parent, caregiver, or know someone with an infant, here's what you need to do. Start building a small stockpile now. If your baby is on a standard formula, buy 1 extra can each week. Check for YC updates and FDA alerts. Register with formula brands. They often notify customers of restocks. Number 6, bananas. America's favorite fruit is in trouble. You grab a bunch of bananas without thinking. They're cheap, they're healthy, kids love them. Americans eat more bananas than any other fruit, over 27 pounds per person every year. But what if you couldn't find them at the store? Or what if they cost $1.50 each? That future is closer than you think. By September 2025, bananas are headed for a serious supply crunch. And it's not just about price. It's about availability. The problem starts where most bananas come from: Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. These countries supply over 90% of U.S. bananas. But in June 2025, Tropical Storm Diego slammed into Ecuador's coastal farms, the heart of banana production. Floods wiped out thousands of acres, roads were washed out, making it impossible to transport fruit, ships sat idle at ports. On top of that, a deadly plant disease called Panama Disease Tropical Race 4, TR4, is spreading fast. It's a fungus that kills banana plants from the inside. No cure, no fix. Once it's in the soil, the land can't grow bananas for decades. The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, confirmed in its June 2025 Global Plant Health Report that TR4 has now reached new regions in Central America, threatening the Cavendish banana, the only kind most Americans have ever eaten. Supply is down, demand is steady. so prices are rising. The average cost of bananas has jumped from $0.59 per pound in 2024 to $0.89 in mid-2025. And experts at Bloomberg Agriculture predict it could hit $1.20 by September. That's more than double what it cost just a few years ago. Some stores are already reacting. In Florida and California, grocery chains like Publix and Ralph's have started placing limits of 2 bunches per customer. Warehouse clubs are selling bananas in pre-packed bags instead of loose, a move that often means higher prices and less flexibility. For families, this matters. Bananas are a go-to snack for kids, a quick energy boost for athletes, and a staple in smoothies and baking. They're also a key part of food assistance programs like SNAP and school lunch menus. When bananas get expensive or hard to find, it affects millions. One teacher in Austin shared that her school stopped giving out free bananas twice a week because the district's food budget couldn't keep up with rising costs. If you rely on bananas, don't wait until the display is empty. Start buying an extra bunch when prices are lower. Consider freezing ripe bananas for smoothies or baking. They last months. And keep an eye on store flyers for deals, because the banana as we know it, cheap, easy, always there, might not be around much longer, and when it's gone, you'll notice. Number 5. Ground beef, dinner's on, but it's costing way more than it used to. Ground beef, the backbone of tacos, spaghetti, chili, and weeknight meals, is getting dangerously expensive. By September 2025, you could be paying $7 or more per pound, and in some places, we're already there. This isn't just inflation creeping up, it's a full-scale shift in how beef is raised, fed, and brought to your table. And it all starts with the drought. Across the Great Plains, Texas, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, ranchers are dealing with one of the worst dry spells in decades. Pastures are brown, water holes are empty. Without enough grass or feed, cattle herds are shrinking. The USDA's Cattle Inventory Report, July 2025, shows the U.S. beef herd is at its lowest level in over 70 years. Fewer cows mean less beef. Simple math. But it's not just the drought. Feed costs have exploded. Corn and soy, key ingredients in cattle feed, are up sharply due to poor Midwest harvests and high fertilizer prices. A ton of feed now costs 45% more than it did 2 years ago. That cost gets passed straight to you. Transport is another issue. Diesel prices are high, and trucking companies are charging more to move livestock and meat. Processing plants are still short-staffed, slowing down the whole chain. All of this adds up. The average price of 80% lean ground beef has jumped 31% in just 1 year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It went from $5.29 per pound in 2024 to $6.93 in mid-2025. In cities like Denver, Seattle, and Boston, some stores are charging $7.50 or more. Families are feeling the pinch. One dad in Missouri told the Kansas City Star he used to make taco night every Friday. Now, I switched to turkey. It's not the same, but I can't spend $18 on beef for 3 tacos. Restaurants are changing menus too. Diners, burger joints, and fast casual spots are raising prices or downsizing portions. Some are even switching to plant-based blends just to stay affordable. If you still cook with ground beef, here's what you can do. Buy in bulk when on sale and freeze it. Look for store brand or family pack deals. Try mixing in lentils or mushrooms to stretch it further. Your chili will still taste great and it'll cost less. And pay attention to sales cycles. Many stores discount meat at the end of the week. Set a reminder and stock up, because ground beef isn't just food, it's tradition. But right now, that tradition is getting priced out of reach for more and more people. Number 4, milk. Milk used to be simple. You grabbed a gallon, poured a glass, dunked your cookies, and didn't think twice. It was cheap, nutritious, and always in the fridge. But now, that same gallon could cost more than your morning coffee, and stores are starting to worry. By September 2025, the price of milk is climbing fast. The average cost of a gallon of whole milk has jumped from $3.49 in 2023 to $4.85 in mid-2025, and in states like California, New York, and Washington, it's already hitting $5.25 or more. This isn't just a bump, it's a breaking point for families. Milk is a daily staple. Kids drink it at breakfast, schools serve it with lunch, and it's in everything from cereal to mashed potatoes. When milk prices go up, the whole grocery bill explodes. So why is this happening? It starts with the farms. Over 200 U.S. dairy farms shut down in 2024 alone, according to the USDA's Dairy Industry Outlook, June 2025. Why? Because it costs more to run them than they earn. Feed is expensive. Labor is hard to find. Milk prices paid to farmers haven't kept up, but retail prices have skyrocketed. Even though farmers aren't getting rich, the final product is getting pricier. Why? Processing and transportation costs have surged. Fuel, packaging, refrigeration, all up. And with fewer farms producing milk, the supply is tightening. In some rural areas, stores are already seeing shortages. One grocery manager in Vermont told the Boston Globe that deliveries are coming late and smaller. We used to get 200 gallons twice a week. Now it's 120, and we're rationing to customers. Schools are feeling it too. Some districts in Ohio and Iowa have cut back on free milk programs to save money. Parents are switching to cheaper alternatives. But even almond and oat milk aren't safe from inflation. For families on tight budgets, this is a real problem. A single mom in Indiana said she now buys milk in smaller jugs, even though it costs more per ounce. I can't afford to buy a gallon and have it go bad, so I buy half gallons every few days. It adds up. If you rely on milk, here's what you can do. Watch for sales and stock up when prices drop. Freeze milk in smaller portions before it expires. It works great for cooking and smoothies. Consider shelf-stable boxed milk for emergencies. And check store brands. They're often the same quality as name brands, but cheaper. Because milk isn't just a drink. It's part of how we feed our kids, start our mornings, and hold meals together. And right now, that basic comfort is becoming a luxury. Number 3, rice. Rice is one of those foods you never think about until it's not on the shelf. It's cheap, it's filling, and for millions of Americans, it's dinner 3 nights a week. Whether it's white, brown, jasmine, or basmati, rice feeds families, fuels takeout, and stretches meals when budgets are tight. But by September 2025, that could all change. The problem starts in India, the world's largest rice exporter. In 2023, India banned most exports of non-basmati rice to protect its own food supply. And now in 2025, that ban is still in place and could last through the year. The Indian government says water shortages and declining groundwater levels are making it too risky to export. But India isn't alone. Thailand and Vietnam, 2 other major suppliers, are also facing severe droughts and heat waves that are damaging paddies. The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, reported in July 2025 that global rice production is down 12% year over year, with yields at their lowest in nearly a decade. Here in the U.S., California's rice farms, which supply most of the nation's domestic rice, are under water restrictions. Farmers are being told to use less irrigation, and many are leaving fields unplanted. The USDA's July 2025 rice outlook shows U.S. production has dropped by 18% compared to 2024. All of this means one thing: less rice, higher prices. A 2-pound bag that used to cost $2.50 now averages $3.99, and premium types like basmati are seeing even bigger spikes, some over $8 per pound in grocery stores like Whole Foods and Wegmans. Stores are starting to feel the pressure. In June 2025, Walmart and Kroger quietly placed purchase limits on bulk rice bags in over 15 states. Asian markets, which rely heavily on imported rice, are seeing delays and substitutions. Some brands are even selling blended rice mixed with cheaper grains, without clear labeling. For families who depend on rice as a daily staple, especially in Latino, Asian, and Southern households, this is more than an inconvenience. It's a threat to food security. One woman in Houston told the Dallas Morning News she feeds her family of 5 rice and beans 4 times a week. If rice goes up again, I'll have to switch to pasta, but that's not what we eat. That's not what my kids know. If you use rice regularly, now is the time to act. Buy extra when you see a good price. Look for warehouse club deals or ethnic grocery stores, which often have better rates. Consider stocking up on different types: jasmine, long grain, quick cook, so you're not caught empty-handed. Because rice isn't just a side dish. For many, it's the foundation of every meal. And right now, that foundation is starting to crack. Number 2, salt. Let's talk about something so basic, so everyday, you probably never thought it could become a problem. Salt. Not fancy sea salt, not Himalayan pink, just plain table salt, the kind you keep next to the pepper used in cooking and never worry about. But get this, salt is now part of the 2025 grocery crisis. Yes, salt. In May 2025, a major salt production facility in Avery Island, Louisiana, one of the largest suppliers of iodized table salt in the U.S., was forced to shut down after damage from Hurricane Levi. The plant, operated by Cargill, produces millions of pounds of salt per year for brands like Morton and Store Labels. Repairs are taking longer than expected, and production is running at only 40% capacity. The U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, and USDA jointly confirmed in June 2025 that domestic salt output has dropped by 22% in the last 6 months. And while that might not sound like a lot, it's enough to cause ripple effects across the supply chain. Now, you might think, salt is everywhere. Can't they just get it from somewhere else? Not that easily. Most U.S. salt comes from a handful of inland mines and evaporative plants. Transport is expensive. And with fuel costs still high, moving bulk salt across states adds to the price. So, what's happening at the store? Shelves are spotty. Some Walmart and Safeway locations in the South and Midwest have had intermittent stockouts of table salt since April. Others are limiting purchases to 1 container per customer. And price? Up sharply. A standard 26-ounce container of iodized salt that cost $0.99 2 years ago now averages $1.89, with some stores charging $2.25 or more. That's more than double for a product that used to be almost free. This might sound minor, but think about how much salt we use. It's in 90% of packaged foods, from bread to chips to frozen meals. It's essential for home cooking, preserving food, and even cleaning. For low-income households where every dollar counts, a $2 salt container adds up. One retiree in Baton Rouge told the Times-Picayune, "I've lived here 70 years, never saw the day I'd have to hunt for salt. Now I keep 2 containers, just in case." Don't laugh this off. Salt may seem small, but when even the cheapest, most basic items start disappearing or costing more, it's a sign the system is under serious strain. If you use salt regularly, and you do, check your pantry. If you're down to the last few ounces, pick up an extra container next trip. Look for store brands or bulk options at warehouse clubs, and avoid the fancy bottles. Basic iodized salt is the same stuff, just cheaper, because in 2025, even the simplest things aren't guaranteed. And salt, it's no longer something you can take for granted. Number 1. Honey. Let's talk about the sweetest, and now most expensive, item on the list. Honey. Not just for tea or toast, but for millions of families. It's a natural go-to when someone has a cough, needs an energy boost, or wants to avoid processed sugar. But by September 2025, that golden jar on your shelf might be gone, or cost more than a gourmet coffee. Here's the hard truth. Bee colonies are collapsing at an alarming rate. And this isn't just a "Save the Bees" slogan. It's a full-blown food crisis. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, Bee Insecticide and Colony Loss Report, June 2025, nearly 45% of commercial bee colonies in the U.S. died off during the 2024-2025 winter season, one of the worst losses on record. Why? It's a mix of pesticides, climate change, disease, and habitat loss. Bees are struggling to survive. Warmer winters confuse their cycles. Pesticides weaken their navigation. And when bees die, they don't just stop making honey, they stop pollinating crops. But for this list, the immediate impact is clear. Less honey, sky-high prices. U.S. honey production is down 33% since 2023. Imports from Argentina and Canada can't fill the gap. And with demand rising, thanks to the natural food trend and immune-boosting claims, supply is stretched thinner than ever. The result, a standard 12-ounce jar of raw local honey now averages $13.50, up from $8 just 2 years ago. That's an 80% price jump. National brands like Sous Bee and store labels are also surging, with prices hitting $10 or $12 in supermarkets from coast to coast. Shelves are spotty. Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and even Costco have had irregular restocks. Some farmers markets report selling out within hours. One beekeeper in Wisconsin told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, "I used to harvest 500 gallons a year. Last season, barely 180. I had to turn people away at the stand." For families who use honey daily in tea, baking, or for kids' sore throats, this is more than a budget issue. It's a health and comfort issue. Some are switching to maple syrup or agave, but those are expensive too. Others are diluting honey with water, which defeats the purpose. And don't forget, honey isn't just a sweetener. It's in cereals, granola bars, yogurt, sauces, and even baby food. When honey prices rise, those products follow. If you use honey regularly, here's what you should do. Start stocking up now. Buy an extra jar when it's on sale. Look for local beekeepers at markets. They often have better prices and fresher product. Store honey properly in a cool, dry place, else it lasts forever. And consider buying larger containers. They're cheaper per ounce. Because honey isn't just a luxury. For many, it's a daily essential, and right now it's disappearing, one dying hive at a time. Let that sink in. We just walked through 13 everyday groceries, from eggs to salt, from milk to honey, that are either skyrocketing in price or vanishing from shelves by September 2025. This isn't speculation. This is happening right now, backed by USDA reports, FAO alerts, and real stories from families struggling to feed their kids. This isn't just inflation. This isn't just a bad week at the store. This is a full-scale grocery emergency, fueled by climate disasters, global trade breakdowns, disease, and supply chain chaos. And if you're still shopping like it's 2024, you're already behind. The good news? You're not powerless. Knowledge is your strongest tool. Now that you know which items are at risk, you can act before the panic hits. Stock up, switch smart, freeze what you can, buy in bulk, protect your budget before prices go even higher. But don't stop there. If this video opened your eyes, if it made you rethink your next grocery trip, then do 3 things right now. Smash that like button. It takes 1 second, but it tells YouTube this matters and helps other families see it before they're caught off guard. Comment below with your story. Have you already seen prices jump, run into empty shelves, found out store limiting items? Your experience helps others, and we're tracking this in real time. Subscribe and hit the bell, because this crisis isn't over. Next week, I'm dropping a must-watch follow-up, 7 grocery items that will stay cheap in 2025, even when inflation hits 8%. This is bigger than one video. It's about staying prepared, staying informed, and staying in control, no matter what happens to food prices. Because when the shelves start emptying, the people who saw it coming will be the only ones who are ready. Stay smart, stay stocked, and I'll see you in the next one.